Munyoro, the most patriotic lady in the House, the Honorable Sabina Chege, will now speak.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And on the onset, I want to say I support as a proud Kenyan. Mr. Speaker, I have been elected twice as a woman representative, and I've seen an amendment in Article 204C on GAF being included in the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this kitty, which goes to the people on the affirmative action, is a very important kitty. And as we amend the Constitution and recognize the GAF, I'll request that this House, as we do the allocation, Mr. Speaker, and I know you are one person who is a champion on matters of women and supporting the women agenda. Mr. Speaker, GAF is only 7 million per constituency per year. And this is where you find women groups benefiting. You find the groups with persons with disability benefiting. And we know there are also other kitties, Mr. Speaker, if it were possible, if I was asked to do a suggestion, the money that goes to Uwezo Fund, the money that goes to Youth Fund, that money should be brought together to one kitty, where the women reps, because they represent the entire county and all the constituency in the county, can manage it. Because you find that the groups that have information, Mr. Speaker, they'll come out, apply for GAF, they will apply for Uwezo Fund, and if they're a youth group, they'll also apply for Youth Fund. So you find only a few sections of the groups that benefit, while others may not even be aware on how to apply for this fund. So if you're able to enhance GAF, you can see a lot of changes in the villages, and this is a real bottom-up. Mr. Speaker, nobody doesn't see the work of CDF in this country. And when I saw the governor struggling to say they want to be giving bursaries, when I look at the counties, Mr. Speaker, and I will urge even the senators as they ask for the oversight fund, that they go through a process to actually have a clear role. What is this oversight function, and what is this fund going to do? Because we went through vigorous, and I would want to remember Honorable Nyokabi, Honorable Kajuju, who are in this House, who helped us come up with the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and we actually now had an act. So, Mr. Speaker, when we are talking about this Senate oversight, I am somehow lost on how it's going to be administered, although the bill suggests that they're going to have legislation from the House, but it's important that they sit down and think about it, so that as we allocate this fund, we can see this fund going to the people and helping the people. But when you say oversight, I don't know whether they'll be doing meetings, because for now, and this is of my own opinion, the Senate is doing very badly. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the money that goes to the counties from the national government, for instance, a county like Nairobi that almost have 18 to 20 billion, then they have the revenue that Nairobi almost raises 100 million per day. But when you look at the development, what is happening in Nairobi with raw sewage flowing, with the streets like Kiambu Road, Mr. Speaker, for the last 6 months, we have not had street lights. All the way, it is dark. Mr. Speaker, then you ask yourself, what is the Senate of Nairobi doing? If this is the oversight they need to do, they need to oversight. We know there's a lot of money that has also been lost through the counties, but I see the Senate busy calling the ministers from national government. At some point, Mr. Speaker, I feel like Senate should have been a House of the Lords, where experts, where people who have served this nation with integrity, where people who are expertise in various sectors, be it finance, be it agriculture, be it education, we have professors, that they would have gone to the Senate and they act as an upper house that can advise this House and can be able even to advise the government. Without looking at the competition, you find senators going to fight the governors because they want to become governors. And it's also a pity, Mr. Speaker, that we also have governors who have become governors for 2 terms and have gone back to the Senate. Some want to go back to become members of parliament. It is ridiculous, Mr. Speaker. I think we need to look at this position. When somebody gets the level of a governor, you can either become a CS or a president, but you don't go back again to the Senate or to become a member of National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, it's just good mannerism. and neatness. And as I support Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that CDF has been managed well. It has really helped. We still have schools even today that do not have classes. So the members of parliament from these regions, they need to prioritize and make sure no child at this day and age and era is having a classroom that is not conducive. They don't have toilets. And Mr. Speaker, some of them, they're even under the tree. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support, I would also want to urge members of parliament to make sure, even if there's a fund manager, be in touch, go to the ground, make sure you are aware of where the money is going, and even monitor where the money has gone. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that we would have discussed this yesterday, and maybe this bill would have passed yesterday, because it's a very important bill. But, Mr. Speaker, we had to not to adjourn the House in the afternoon because of the unrest that we had in this town. As I sat in my house, Mr. Speaker, and that's why I'm donning the Kenyan flag today, my heart cried for this nation. My heart cried for our young people. I would like to thank the Gen Zs who came peacefully in town and left early, and they came, gave their message and left. But we know, Mr. Speaker, there's a group that came that was well organized, and we cannot bury our heads in the sand, Mr. Speaker. We, politicians, we must take up the blame. We are the financiers, Mr. Speaker. Those people know themselves. We might not even name names, but you are conscious as you sit in the House, as you see businesses of innocent Kenyans whom you purport that you want to take them to Canaan being vandalized. I saw a lady crying and asking God what she has done wrong, because he had a shop, Mr. Speaker, that went down. Everything was taken. These small shops you see in River Road, these small shops you find in Kamukonji, you find in Nyamakema, those innocent traders, they take loans, Mr. Speaker. They go and get a few things from China or Dubai, wherever it is. They come and sell. Some buy from a wholesale shop to go and buy. And then somebody seated somewhere in a house, you can actually sleep knowing you sent goons to go vandalize shops of your own. It is a shame, Mr. Speaker. And whether we want to say it's political, whatever it is, you cannot be so selfish that it's about you that you can ban this nation because of your own selfish interest. Mr. Speaker, I shared a phone call at around 9 p.m. yesterday with a young lady who used to work in my office and who went to work in the morning, and going home, she had to walk for 3 hours because there were no matatus, there were no border borders, and she was saved by a whisker, by a man who held her hand. There were gangs on Thika Road, Mr. Speaker, and they were raping women and girls. Many women have been raped. Many shops were vandalized. When they left town, now they went to those areas where they came from. And supermarkets, as late as midnight in Dagoretti Corner, people who are just breaking into shops in the supermarket, and these are the small supermarkets, a supermarket like Kasmat. Mr. Speaker, it is a sad affair. This is somebody who has been there with their family. I saw shamelessly in Nyeri town, people came in with motorbikes. It is not very hard for the security team to know who had hired those motorbikes. They came in Nyeri town. They wanted to attack one of our own, Shieni supermarket. And when the police went to help them, these people went back to Naivas. These people, Mr. Speaker, were carrying a whole fridge on the back. A seat, you tie it on a motorbike. And then you go. And it was the beauty of social media now. People were taking videos. So I hope that the police are going to use these videos. They go and get these people. You know my colleague, Kimani, the chair of finance, last year, people went to his place. They went and vandalized his home. They went and stole his cows. But one guy who stole the cow didn't know this was a grade cow. You have to feed it. So he went and put the cow inside his house. And by the time he was discovered, he didn't even know what to do with the cow, because the cow was in his sitting room. He couldn't take it out. He didn't have anything to feed the cow. And that is the reality. And I thank Mheshimiwa, because when these people were arrested, he said he has forgiven them. Because at some point you say, Lord, forgive them, because they don't know what they are doing. But Mr. Speaker, I know I was in Azimio. I know even when the time came for the people to go to the streets, myself, I said, I choose peace, I'll not go to the streets. But I've never seen the Azimio people, Mr. Speaker, going to the streets, Mr. Speaker, vandalizing. I've never seen them going to steal from their own, Mr. Speaker. They can throw stones here and there, but I've never seen them raping their mothers.
Honorable Sabina Chege, how long do you need? 5 minutes.
Yes, and I don't want interruption, Mr. Speaker, because somebody wants to disrupt my line of thought. Mr. Speaker, I have never seen, we have had demonstrations, but Mr. Speaker, we could not have had people raping their own mothers, their own sisters, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, yesterday was a sad day for me as a mother. Today I woke up and I decided I'll don the national flag and I'm going to pray for my nation. And Mr. Speaker, a time comes when you say, come, let us reason together. Come, let us reason together. Yes, our young people, Gen Zs, they are our children. They may have something that they want to say. We can have a national conversation, Mr. Speaker, which we can start from the location, from the ward level, where those young people can get a forum to go and say what they want to say. We can have a constituency level where they can have a forum, even not even with us. If they feel they don't trust us as members of parliament, they can have with a professional, because every village there is a professional person. Every constituency there is a professional person. But I also want to tell our young people, no pain, no gain. If you don't sweat, if you want to sit in the house, if you're given a chance, you don't want to get tired, a time comes, Mr. Speaker, that you must go out there, offer yourselves. Some of us where we have come from, Mr. Speaker, from the village of Muranga, a village called Kenyona. We came to Nairobi the first time when we cleared Form 4. I came and I became a house girl because I had picked tea from November to February the following year, and I felt I don't want to pick tea again. I came to seek for greener pastures in Nairobi. I became a house girl, Mr. Speaker. From there, I saw there was acting on TV. I saw one girl saying that this time you have to go and knock a door because you are known. That's the only time you can get a chance. I want to remember the late Kibwana Oguso. He was a Luo. He didn't know me. He was not a Kikuyu. I went to the gate of KBC and I asked to see Tausi people. And the only experience I had is because in high school I was the best actress in Central Kenya. I used to act and I used to sing, Mr. Speaker. That is how I got my first foot in the media, acting on a local TV station. And from there, Mr. Speaker, I went acting on radio. From there, I did my first degree in education. I did my master's in communication. I've done my PhD, Mr. Speaker. And it has not been easy. And we need to tell our children it is not easy, but also to the parents. As we say, we have freedom and we are allowing our children to go out. Let us also, charity begins at home. We need to speak to our children. We need to pray for our children. But Mr. Speaker, as I've said, a lot of Gen Zs, they came, gave their message and went home, and I want to congratulate them. But the thugs...
Honorable Sabina Chege, this Gen Z, Generation Z, how come they didn't come out in the entire northeastern Kenya? How come we didn't see them in Turkana, we didn't see them in Samburu, we didn't see them in Kisumu County, we didn't see them in Siaya, we didn't see them in Homa Bay this time, we didn't see them in Migori?
It is true, Mr. Speaker.
Still having Gen Z, or it is a tag for...
No, people have taken advantage, Mr. Speaker. And you know, we also have people who are inciting them. In those regions you have mentioned, their leaders asked them to stay and they stayed. But unfortunately, in our region, Mr. Speaker, truth be told, there's a lot of incitement. There's a lot of people trying to bash the government. But when people planned that they will go to State House girls and rape those girls, those are not Ruto's daughters who are there. They are our own children. So, Mr. Speaker, as people purport that they want to rise into power, I would also want to tell them God sees, and it is God who gives authority, and He looks at our hearts. So you might try to incite the community against the government, the same government that you campaigned for, the same government, Mr. Speaker, that the same people want roads. And I want to appreciate my honorable members of parliament. Today they were at a funeral and they said they want roads. And it's the same government they are fighting that they want roads from. Mr. Speaker, what I would want to say is that we must teach our children and talk to our children and tell them, Mr. Speaker, that there is hope. If we do not give our people hope, we will continue with hopelessness. Today,
the Honorable Joseph Munyoro is out of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise, pursuant to Standing Order number 35, to raise the issue of quorum in this House. I do know that we have quorum to continue conducting business. Thank you.
The bell will be rung for